Hi, I'm Jane Westerby from the Hampshire Seed Company, and this is part one of a 4-part series of videos all about dahlias, how to plant them, what to do with them. So part one is how to plant them, which I'll go through today. Number 2 is how to take cuttings. Number 3 is how to plant them in your garden. And number 4 in the autumn time will all be about digging, dividing and storing your dahlias for the winter. So if you're watching this video, you're likely to have ordered your dahlia tubers from us, and they will have arrived in a bag a little bit like this. If you haven't ordered your dahlia tubers from us, but you have some already, maybe from somewhere else, and you've just found this video online, then great, please do come along for the ride. So the first thing to do is take your tubers out of the bag that you've got and take them out carefully, because you don't want to damage them in any way. So let me show you. Okay, so this is what your tubers will look like if you have ordered a clump of tubers from us. Okay, so you've either ordered a clump or you may have ordered a single dahlia tuber from us. Okay, so with a single dahlia tuber, you will have a tuber, and it could be any shape and size. Honestly, they do come in all shapes and sizes. Okay, so what you need is a tuber here, and the roots will grow out of this tuber. And then just around here, around the neck or around the crown, there will be some eyes. Now this one in particular, I'm just looking, that one doesn't actually have any yet, because that one's not sprouted yet. But this one, as you can see, this one has sprouted. It's not just got an eye, but it has sprouted. I've got another one here. This one, it's actually two together, but as you can see, we've got some nice sprouts on those. Okay, so when you order a single tuber from us, we've warmed these up for 4 weeks already, indoors, inside, to make sure that every single one of them that we dispatch does have an eye. Now, yours may not be this big when it arrives. It may only be really, really tiny, but that's still viable. And all you need for your tuber to be viable is an actual tuber, which is the bulbous bit, and then an eye at the top. Now, you may be lucky. You maybe get one that has 2 or 3 eyes on it, or you may only have 1, but it does only need 1 to be viable. Okay, your clumps, if you've ordered clumps from us, they will likely have several eyes just around the crown here. Now, we can't tell you how many. It might have 1, it might have 2, it might have 5 or 6. Who knows? Okay, so that's how your tubers will arrive. So this is how I plant up all of my single tubers. Okay, when they are long, thin tubers, I plant them in a nice deep pot, and I plant them literally just like this, with lots and lots of them all in the same pot. And this pot has actually been inside for a couple of weeks, and that's why it's now sprouting really, really well. And you can see each one of these just has either 1 or 2 sprouts. A little bit later on in the season, maybe in about a couple of weeks' time, I'll probably then transfer each one of these to a single pot. Now, the reason I do that is because we don't have a lot of space here, and we grow thousands of tubers. So we need to limit the amount of space that each one of them takes up early in the season. So that's how I pot up my long, thin tubers. But you may have either a clump or something which is kind of short and round, in which case we plant them in a shallow tray like this. Again, with the top sticking out, they don't need to be buried. And yeah, and then this, you can just spread the tubers out on the top of the compost, and then we would water this, and whenever it's looking a little bit dry. So we pot both our single tubers up and our clumps up in the exact same way. Let me show you how. Okay, so here we have a pot, and I've just put a little bit of compost just in the bottom. And I will take the single tuber, and we'll just pop it into the pot. We'll actually take all 3, and we pop them into the pot like this, with a little bit more compost just over the top. Okay, and we do leave all of the necks sticking out. Okay, so if we're planting a tuber clump like this, what we would do is trim off all of these scraggly bits, which are the old roots from last year because you don't need any of these. We would also trim off any necks which look like they're broken. Now this one actually looks pretty intact. So if you have any tubers with a broken neck, like this one here, then you need to just cut this one off. Remember, all your tuber needs to be viable is one tuber and an eye around the crown, okay? So it doesn't matter that we've cut this one off. So we would then plant this. We pop a little bit of compost in the bottom of the pot, pop the tuber in, fill in around it. Just like this. So once you've got your potted tubers, the most important thing to remember is to keep them frost free. You can put them outside on a sunny day. Mine are outside today because the sun is shining and I do want them to get that direct sunlight. But they cannot be left out overnight when there's any risk of frost. So at the moment it's March, as I'm potting them up. They will not be left outside overnight during March. And even into April, we will probably still bring them all inside overnight. If they catch a frost, they will die. So make sure you keep them somewhere frost-free. You can keep them in your house or maybe in a porch, in a frost-free porch. But even if you put them in your greenhouse, a greenhouse is not frost-free and they will die. So please, please make sure that you bring them somewhere a little bit warmer for these cold nights that we've got at the moment. So that's all I've got for you today. So good luck, and do reach out if you have any questions. You can reach out to us on Instagram at the Hampshire Seed Company with any of your questions. Do join us next time in a few weeks' time for how to take cuttings.